They they just take everything and they burn it. We don't have rights according to them, but I thought we all got rights. We also was part of society. Where we are now is difficult.
All right, Marius, Cathy, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great for you to be here chatting to us today. Tell us a little bit about where you come from.
I come from Uganda, where I was put in a convent because my father died when I was 10 and my mother died at the same time. But just found out recently she was never my mother. Actually, in fact, my mother was a Russian woman. And I was disabled, so no other orphanage would take me because I'm not a medical facility. So the nuns took me in Uganda and looked after me at the Catholic Church because they believe doesn't matter how you look, you're disabled in your brain. Don't look at somebody who is disabled. They are disabled. The thing is, they realize that I'm clever in most ways. It's just my physical is a big problem. But as the time went, I picked up more problems. And so I live my life to the best because God is in my life.
Marius, where did you come from?
Okay, I originally grew up on the East Rand, Benoni area, and then I went to the army after school because my mom herself was very sick and in a wheelchair. So the last 2 years of my school years, I had to look after mostly because my dad was working and there was no other children in the house at that station. So after school, I went to the army, and my first year, my mother passed away. But yeah, and when I finished my 2 years, my dad had a lot of medical expenses and so forth. So the only studying I could do was if I could get a bursary. And I went into teaching, which I studied in Johannesburg. And so I spent, well, 4 years basically studying in Joburg. And then from there onwards, I started teaching. I became a teacher and I started teaching in White River and Eastern Transvaal. But after that, yeah, I had to move around a lot, accepting posts wherever I could get one because the department didn't supply any posts for me.
What subjects did you teach?
I mostly taught languages and then technical subjects, drawing and woodwork mainly, because I'm a qualified carpenter as well.
And we had a discussion before we started the interview. You were telling me you've got a background in finance.
Yes, the Catholic Church decided because I matriculated so high at 93% on average that they will pay for whatever I want to do. So I went to study finance and I did very well. And I went for the interview. The guy was very reluctant because he saw my physical problems. And I said to him, it's not my physical what does the job, it's me who does the job. But I got iller as the time went, but I worked for them for 23 years.
And now, fast forward to all these years. Tell us a little bit about your current living situation. What's happening in your lives at the moment?
It's difficult. In PD's JSU, we were living in a tent behind the wall, and they say people complaining, and it's not. They even when we lived back, they burned our stuff. People just gave us food, and they destroyed our food, destroyed our tent. They they just take everything and they burn it. We don't have rights according to them, but I thought we all got rights. We also was part of society. Where we are now is difficult. They stole my handbag. I have no ID. We don't have money. The money we get, he has to buy my nappies. He has to make sure I have medication because you can't go to the clinic. Get treated so badly. I was to the hospital that he has to come fix my drip because he was a voluntary paramedic, and they told him I must maintain my own drip and I'm so sick. So I refused to go to hospital. I'll be honest, because the hospital state is very bad. Alberton new, Jim is a new hospital. Don't even your shower is a pipe you have to hold to wash yourself. I can't even get there. Then I said to him, I must wait for him to come and bath me.
So both of you had careers, and then things changed. Was it the illness that led you to that?
Illness,
Tell us a little
costs.
bit about that transition from when you were both working until the position that you're in now.
The thing is, I got so ill. I was 70 days in a coma. I woke up, I landed up on the street because there was nobody. I didn't even have money. I was in the pajamas of the hospital. I didn't even have clothes. When I went to the home where I built, it was gone. There was nobody. I was divorced. I didn't even know. They actually signed a letter of putting the machines off. Then I met Marius. Marius gave everything up for me. He sold all his stuff financially, he looked after me. And we lost everything because of my medical. But he's still with me and he looks after me. He's an amazing person. Nobody can throw that away. You can never meet somebody who can care so much about somebody. And he was a stranger at the time, but we now nearly 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, before I actually met Cathy, I was still teaching, and then I had a temporary post at a school, but that was the third term, and they couldn't guarantee me a post for the fourth term. So I left the school, and I made a decision to go and teach in Mozambique. I was there for 3 months when I picked up malaria. I nearly died. In fact, I lost 45 kilos in around about 3 weeks. I had to come back to South Africa, but luckily the doctor that worked with me actually comes from East Africa. So he literally saved my life. And that's why I'm still here today. And I think God saved my life because he knew there was still a future for me with her. And after that, I met Cathy and my whole life changed. Even my outlook on God. And I grew up in the church. My father was a church leader. But I realized that I actually never really believed me. At the age of 50, for the first time in my life, I realized who God really is. And that's thanks to this lady next door to me. That's why I would do anything for her, because she literally saved my life. I was going down the wrong way, or going down the wrong path totally, although I knew better. But yeah, our current situation, it's not nice to live out in the street. It's actually very difficult, and especially with her now being disabled in a wheelchair. I just want to put one thing straight, is Cathy is not paralyzed. She's disabled, which means that she's got problems with her hips and her back, and therefore she cannot walk very far. She can walk a few steps, she can move a little bit, but most of the times we have to make use of the chair, especially we have to move around and walk around, and just to try and make a living. As I say, it's not easy out, Yanni, and you've always got some people that looks and see if they can do you in. As I say, she already mentioned the EMPD. In fact, we were actually threatened by the commander of EMPD in this area. He literally came to my tent and swung his ID under my nose and told me we must leave in half an hour, otherwise you're going to send these people to burn us.
For the people who don't know, the EMPD is the Ekurhuleni Police Department.
Yeah, Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. In any case, and it comes down to the point where most of the people on the street are just trying to survive. It's all about survival. But they're being chased like animals from point to point, because in this specific area, there's absolutely no place or shelter where people on the street can go to.
And now the medical division they say we have to be separated, and I'm not going to be separated.
No, that's when you go to shelters.
We will live with each other till our end. because doesn't matter how difficult it's out here, we won't live with each other without each other. Because I love him. He is the amazing person I've ever met, even if it's at this stage of my life.
Has the state said to you that they will provide you shelter, but they need to split you up? Is that what they've said?
No, what actually has
The
happened is
missions don't
there
take.
is a lot of missions or shelters around, but firstly, they are full. Secondly, these days they only take families. And most of the times only when you have SASSA, because they take your money. And
I don't have.
when we went to a shelter, is they want to split us up and they want to put her in a home because of her situation, and which I'm not willing to do. Therefore, we've only got one choice at this stage, and that is to stay on the street. It's not that we want to be there, but you don't get opportunities. Because just to clarify one thing concerning that, you must always keep in mind there are three different kinds of people on the street. A lot of people say, oh, you live on the street, so you're hobo. What is a hobo really? If you go and look at the term hobo, what is a hobo? Right? It's got nothing concerning what people staying in the street. Firstly, you've got your people that actually eats out of dustbins, literally. And all the money they can get together, if it's through what people give them or through stealing and selling products, whatever, they normally drink it out. Then you get your second level of people. That's normally your drug addicts. Right? Most of these people, they've got actually homes, they've got family, but they're being chased away because they keep on stealing out of their houses, or they keep on demanding money, or they get very aggressive. So they're being chased away and they land on the street. And then you've got your street people, or we call them street people. That's people that live out here. It's not that they want to be here. They actually, their biggest wish is to get off the street, but they don't get opportunities. You get people like me, you will find that a lot of people at my age are sitting out there because, firstly, the economic situation of this country, there is no work for us. You know, I mean, me as a teacher, I will be 59 soon, and which principal is going to actually appoint a teacher that, I mean, it's about 1 year, 2 years, then I have to go on pension in any case, according to the state. So it's so difficult to find a job. And then you have other people that offers you jobs and makes promises. As soon as they hear your age, then they don't come back to you anymore. Oh, well, we will contact you, we will phone you, but it doesn't happen. Or you do get a job, but normally it's on a temporary basis. And it's like what happened to me last year. I got a job in a place. I was there 2.5 months, and the guy just said to me, sorry, we're closing down. I don't have work for you anymore. We had a place to stay, everything. So we just landed once more back on the street. And that's unfortunately, if you've been on the street, you will always keep that term with you. You will always be a street person. You will always be treated as a street person.
Such a morals.
And that is our present situation.
We,
it's not that we don't want to go anywhere. We actually would like to have a life. I so many times pray and hope and wish that like we can have a life again. But yeah, that's the situation.
But there's a lot of good people out here in Backlist. There is a special couple, the Indian couple. If I need nappies or stuff and we're really desperate and we can't really make money, I pick up the phone and they will come with my nappies that I need. Because I have no control of my bladder because everything is shutting down. And it's become difficult to modify my nappies. It's expensive. And the thing is, the other beautiful couple, every day they will ask how I am, what are you doing. There is so many people. The blind people opposite the road where we stand. I was so sick, I was laying on the ground behind a tree. I could not even get up. Ambulance didn't even want to come because I'm a street person. So the uncle come, and they still good to us. Don't forget it's wrong. Try church people. Brought us food and says, you go now, take her to and get her medication. They basically saved my life that day. They are wonderful people. Yes, wonderful people out here. The school opposite where we stand at Robert, Same. Most people, yeah, but there is the negatives. But the thing is, you have to take the good with the bad. Life is like that. But we steer away from people who are just doing the wrong thing because they look what we have and then they want it. And don't think we don't get intimidated. But at least we've now done a new program. You'll see there on the dustbin, the red dustbin there by the corner. Extra food we get, we put there, they can take it. Stay away from us because, don't steal from us. If you're hungry, ask. But sometimes we don't have. And this week was not a good week. But next week is a better week. But there's two people at that blind people. What is fantastic. One woman from the Catholic Church, the owner from that business, is such amazing people. And the woman what we're now with, she's busy selling her home because she lost her husband after 50 years marriage and stuff. And that was their home, it's a big home. So she asked us to supervise it. She needed to go away to clear her head because she lost two people in from November to December, or October to
October.
yeah. And because she knows us and she knows we're honest people. But it's not, she's already got the house on the market, and as we heard, is the house going to be sold because it's a beautiful place and everything. She said it was a temporary thing, but she gave us an extension for now until the papers are signed and everything.
So as I understand it, this lady has the house and you have a room in her house.
At the
house.
moment, yes.
At the
All
moment,
right. So what do you think's going to happen when she sells?
We're going to be back on the street again.
that's,
No
there's no ways
two
about
ways about it.
And,
We don't have
and
money.
what does that mean? Because I think there's a lot of people who don't actually understand what that means. Where will you sleep at night? If you want
You
to wash,
find a place, and what we do is we put our things up at 7 o'clock at night. That was actually making me sick because my immune efficiency is bad because I also have cancer. And so when I get cold and we rain wet because our tent is not very good because it's raining in, and it's actually no more if you think about it. And you can't put it in there. So we put it up at 7 at night. So we wait under the tree there by engine. And then 4:30 we get up and put it down because MPD by 6 they're there. They will burn our stuff. And they burn your Bible, they burn everything. They don't care. We don't even care how I get out. I told him I'm disabled. We told him to remove me. MPD has no mercy for the people in the street. They don't understand that we also have rights. We also part of the community. We also live. But where must we go? They can chase us corner to corner. Where do they want to chase us to? Why don't they take vacant land, put a wall around it, and tell the people, go put your tent up there. Don't be in the community, and whatever food you get is yours. You can still do what you're doing, but you're not in the faces of businesses and stuff, because you have to have respect for that. You have to know that they have to make their living. So we're there so it doesn't look good. We get blamed for dirt, what people throw around. So Michelle from, I must say, she's an honorable person, will buy us black bags and we will clean up. Because you know what? I wasn't brought up dirty. So why do I want the dirt around me? And people think it's us. So how would they help us? And there is a lot of people who help us. I must say, I am so grateful for Brackenhurst, Brackendowns, this whole area, Alberton, because I come from here. I brought my kids up here. After I came out of the convent, this is where I came to because my uncle was here, but he's passed. And I always known it to be the most wonderful place.
when you're on the streets, and that could be any form, when you're moving from the place where you stay down to the traffic lights where you stand, that kind of thing. Generally speaking, how do people treat you?
Okay, to be honest with you, because of me and her, for instance, now we're trying our best not to be a menace to people, and you always try, and the way you approach people and the way you talk to people, in general.
Dignity.
I don't believe in getting into people's faces. You get a lot of these people that walk around and they will get in front of you. Sir, please, do you have 2 rand or 3
Or
rand
in
for
their
me?
windows.
No, you don't do that. And then they're dirty. They can't even go through the trouble of cleaning their hands. We always try and be clean. I've even got a lady that helps us to get our clothes washed. So our clothes are clean. We're
The
always
water shop.
washing.
Water shop.
There's one saying I have in my life is a bar of soap doesn't cost that much, and you can always get water somewhere, somehow. In fact, we have a water shop at the stage that actually supplies me and her with water whenever we need it. A business gentleman that's always helping us. In general, the public actually treats us with great love. You do get your people that will sway you, and why don't you get a job then? I wish I can get a job in my age. I would really like to have one. But with the circumstances and the economical circumstances, there is no jobs there. There isn't money for factories and companies to grow in. So how are people going to get jobs then? As I say, the treatment from people, especially in this area we're in at the moment, is
Wonderful.
in general, people are very good to us, and they're very loving, and they're very caring. And I mean, I find it a lot of times that Cathy is sick and she would be in a certain place. The first thing I'm being asked is, where's your wife? Is she okay? Is sick again? And people really care, especially the people that got to know us over the last few years. As I say, you do have your people that would sway you and treat you and mistreat you. But in general, people are very good to us and very loving.
And Cathy, you were saying that you don't have an identification document.
Yeah, they stole my handbag with my SASA card and everything. So I have to start the process totally over. And with the you only make a certain amount of money. So mostly it's buying nappies, my medication, because she puts me first. And it's expensive. Don't ever think it's not. I mean, 10 nappies last 3 days. I can't predict if it's going to be 3 days because anything can happen. But we have this plan. We've got 3 little money bags. We put nappy money, food money, essentials, and then we save. And the days things get bought. That is the way we work. The money is not to be wasted because tomorrow you have nothing. What do you do then? Then you suffer. We have gone hungry. Don't think we've not gone hungry. We have. But we have to know a lot of people in the 6 years that we've been here in Brackenness.
Have you considered applying for another ID so that you can
I
so
want
that you
to,
can
but
get a
I don't
SASSA
have
grant?
the money for it. I don't. And then the thing is, when we have money, you have to go down to Home Affairs and we have to stay the whole day there. That means we lose out for the things we need. Remember, things are expensive now. We have to eat, both of us. So we get the church food. I have got drums where I put the food in for us to eat. But now our cooker is without gas. So we're trying to get that money together. But now again, I need nappies. So yeah, it is a vicious circle because I need to get my SASA. And going to the clinic, please. I would avoid. I go. We put money together usually. I go to the doctor there at it's now I don't know what it was. It was always a Springbok. Down there is a doctor who knows me, knows my medical history. We rather pay his fee. He gives me my medication, my injections, and give me a script, and then we make a plan for the medication. Because at the clinics they treat you very bad. When they hear you from the street, you have no address. Try and go to the clinic. It's not nice. Oh, you people, you're there for a certain reason.
Yeah, you sell the medication.
We sell the medication.
Everybody's accused of it.
No. So who wants to be insulted every day of their lives? I don't want to be insulted. I'm a human being, like everybody else. I brought up my kids. I lost 3 kids without I got in the grave. Sorry, no, we wasn't going to put this situation, but I'm still a human being with a person but it's also a human being. We were never like of what he wants to do. He's trying to apply for the Brackenhurst ground manager. Somebody offered to make his CV.
Okay.
We're going to try. We're not going to ever stop. And that's why we do house sitting and stuff. We were 2 weeks in somebody's house. And you know what? She came back and said to me, "Thank you, my house is clean. My dogs are fed. And they're okay." That is who we are. Honesty comes from the heart, from God. And we believe that God, I pray for God every day. 4 or 5 times a day, depends on our situation. So today we didn't make money. 10 rand, 20 rand. It goes in. It can take maybe a week before we have something, but at least we know we are together and we love each other. And I'm not going to be separated from him. Doesn't matter what.
Do you have any stories that you can tell? And let's look at maybe both sides of the scales. Something that was not nice that happened to you on the street versus something where maybe somebody's been particularly kind to you. Have you got any stories that you can share with us?
Oh yes, that's definitely. Okay, it just
Tell them.
just good things that happened to us. Like we've had instances before where you actually sit for the day and you try and make money and you're not getting anything, and you get desperate, and everything looks so dark, and then one person will stop there and put 1,000 rand in your hand and say to you, "Me and my wife have decided to bless you guys today." And that is how God changes our lives. It's my experience every day. Is it doesn't matter how bad things look, and
just be honest to yourself.
Yeah, just be honest to yourself, and God will open a door for you. He brings most beautiful people into your life. People that really care, people that actually go through the effort of coming, sitting right down there with you on the pavement where you are, and
listening to your
ask
story.
you and listen to your story. And they're really trying to find out why you're in that situation. It's not for curiosity, but real generous. They're interested. And we get a lot of help from these people. Bad experiences, most of the times, is you get very bad people on the street that comes out of jail. They cut your tent open.
Take everything.
They will steal the little bit that you still have left. They will also steal. Put you in a position where you have nothing left.
Sleeping on the pavement.
You have people that swears you. They will come in the middle of the night to your tent and try and move you in the middle of the night. I mean, my wife is in a wheelchair, but they will make you move. As I say, we've had so many threats of our stuff going to be burned.
The best thing is,
we don't want you people around me. That's one of the remarks.
And disabled don't belong in the world was one of the things what was said. And the other things what gets said is, one thing I can say, a lot of times we go to the butchery and there's good youngsters. I must say there's youngsters and old people that knows us. We buy our stuff and we want to pay for it and they will pay for it. And that is the blessings we have. We don't take it for granted because we don't sell food, because food is your living. And we were both from backgrounds where value of life is what you do from it. But unfortunately on the street, there is a lot of problems. People don't know half of those things. The youngsters was on the street is in a bad way. And I don't know how they're going to fix it.
Is that mostly drug related?
Drug related, mostly, yeah. There's now 480 in the area of Alberton down there. This side's very little because it gets controlled.
Sorry.
But it's bad. It's go to Alberton North, to the police station, you'll see Funny Farm. We call it Funny Farm. I'm just saying, that is where the problems are. People must know it. They give those people food and they go sell it. Maybe there must be a better control over it. I know we get money and people see us in churches. The truck moves in now there. They all grab the food I have. Where do they go? Well, the drug consultant is very happy. I won't say he's a.
It seems that people are showing you more love and generosity than bad things are happening to you.
It is.
Like I say,
We reflect properly because you know what? We won't get into their faces. You will give us or don't. I was yesterday blessed with this jacket and this one because the auntie was very concerned. She specially went to wash it. It was her daughter's. She said, Cathy, you can't get sick so much. And you know what? That was a beautiful jacket because I didn't have something more. So now I have something more. And you know what? Even though they steal from us, you know what? There's a God up there and there's wonderful people. What is good in this community? I must say, we have lived down there, but you don't want to live because that's where the most problems are. But yeah, because I come from here. And the thing is, I will not go anywhere else. We'll rather move around here if we come back. Because the thing is, this is the lovable place, the world, the church people, everybody here, even the NG the Catholic Church. And I don't know what church they are, but they always look out for us. And we started there by a shop in the mall. You buy 10 rand containers. How big are they?
I don't even know.
I put my tins in there, my macaroni in there, and when we don't have because it runs out. Don't ever think. But if somebody's hungry and we have more, we will give because we know who to give to because we've been so long on the street. I will not give people who I know is going to sell the fruit because not right. Why don't you take mercy of people and throw it in a dustbin? It's not going to happen.
Let's talk a little bit about your health, Cathy. As I understand it, you have a form of cancer.
Yes, as AS arthritis, what they call it. You can go and Google it. It says AS arthritis. It's a bone and blood disease. I was born with it. It disables you after a while. I can't use my hands properly anymore. My feet is also just form. My hips is gone. It basically takes bit by bit. I am partially blind now. I was totally blind, but I managed to bring this eye back. But I also just see shadows. So I can go totally blind again. And then I will be permanently blind.
And we did touch earlier a little bit about medication. Something like cancer is quite serious. Is the state providing any support for you?
Every time I don't triple N's is the medication when I need to sleep and control my pain and stuff. They don't have any more from that. I was on a medication put on what nearly killed me. Epilim. My body weight was too light for the dosage they wrote down, 1,600 milligrams. I only weigh 38 kilos. 1,600 milligrams is a lot for. I started having fits, brain fits, because of that medication. So he said to me, Cathy, you stop it because you never had that type of problem. I had fits, but not that. I would have it every second day. That I was so democratic I couldn't even comprehend where I was. He had to bring me back. And then the cancer is under control with medication. I get a script from the doctor, and then we manage to try and manage. It's expensive. The doctor box. Oh, he's not a qualified doctor, but he knows me. He knows what I need, and he helps us. I go give him my script, and he gives me my medication. But it costs us money. And there's people when I'm sick because I had first stomach cancer, I had woman cancer, where I went into remission. Then I had lung cancer, so my lungs got damaged. So breathing is a problem sometimes. So I close up totally, especially on the cold. And I already had 3 times, 2 times bronchitis on it, and then the last time 3 times pneumonia. But I, I believe God is good. And Marius is wonderful with that. He looks after me. Doesn't matter what. If we're in a rainy tent or we on the coldest day, he'll rather give his jacket to me and his blankets. And you know what? And the people's love. They will come to the tent what we had there by the wall in the Vermoeten and bring us soup, bring us cooked food. The thing is, not all the time. People mustn't think that mostly of the money, and I feel sorry for Marius actually because he has to maintain my medical bills, and it's expensive. It is not cheap. So most of the money go for that, and maybe a loaf of bread, well, not maybe all the time. And then there's people who cares. Bread shop, it's the this. You know what the thing is? Not all the time because you know what their businesses. They can't always give the butchery every now and then. But we don't take anything for granted because my life is short. I don't know how long. I was supposed to be dead when I was 30. I'm turning 55. And I love this man because he nearly lost me. I was in 23, I went into cardiac arrest. In 24,
Mm.
I survived it because of his love and careness. And you know what? And the people. You know how many people, just their love. It's not about money. It's not about the food. It's just he'll ride a past you, they'll greet you, send you kisses and love you. And the kids are the best. All these little toys I carry with me, these kids would put 10 rand in and gives it to me. And you know what? Not just asking how I feel. There is good people and there is bad people. But you must always remember God is there. And that's how we look at it. Maybe today a bad day, tomorrow a good day.
Yeah, just to fill in on that, I need to say that you're talking about the cancer now and whatever. You know what? This lady next to me, I have never heard her complaining about it. She lives with it every day of her life. And I think she has more courage than most people that I know. Nothing puts her down. Every day she will continue. Yes, she gets sick days that she will lie down and need to lie down for a day or whatever. But next day she's up again. Yesterday she was sick. She was actually lying in bed yesterday. Now you see her sitting here because she never stops.
God
Yes,
will decide.
everybody says cancer, cancer, cancer. It's never put her down. This lady just goes on and on and on forever. And that's why it's not difficult to help her. It's not difficult to be with her. And through God's love, we get past everything.
If you have a message for the people that are watching this, anything from your heart, what is the message from you and from Cathy?
Okay.
Thank you.
First thing I would like to say is that there are very much and very big totals of people out there that care about others and they care about people. But what I would like to say is, if there is somebody that you would like to help, go to that person, go and sit down and talk to them. First, find out what is their story. Don't always just accept that most people on the street is addicted to something, because that is a general idea. Right? So rather go and sit down with these people, talk to them, find out where they come from, find out what their needs are. Then you also know how to act on that in the end. And then along with that, I would like to say thank you to all these people. And this comes out of the bottom of my heart, and I know my wife feels the same. I would like to thank these people for what they do, the mercy that they bring over others, and the love. And, a lot of times a person feels down. Just the fact that you show interest or you talk to me as if I'm also a human being, and not a dog that's in the street. That makes a huge difference. Just that smile, just that wave that you give makes a huge difference in our lives. But most of all, I'd like to say thank you to everyone
And
that's
God
actually
bless.
willing to help, and hope, and I pray every day of my life that God will bless you in the same way as you bless people that's in need.
Anything from your side, Cathy?
The one thing I can say, for all the times I've been ill, all the times I had to get up, and the reporter from Record has done 3 stories on me. Knowing when I was sick and laying on the tree, you're an awesome person. And I know you have problems at this stage, and I send my blessings to you. And helped the people. But I pray to God that our world is saved, because we are in desperate need of saving, because it's not going to get better. So I keep on praying for the world. I pray for myself, but I know that God looks after me every day, bad or good. It's not easy. Anybody who's sick will know. I know I'm in desperate need of a wheelchair, but my husband has find a way to cable tie it because we can't find. Uncle Troy offered to buy the tire, but bless him, bless the man who lost his wife, what we know very well, and everybody else who's with illness. Just look up. You have a Father that looks after you, and there's many people what has got good in their heart. Amen.
Well, I think that it's amazing the way you take care of each other, and I wish you all of the best for the future, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for giving us a chance to tell our story.
You're very welcome.
My name's Sean Talbot, and I'm the producer of the YouTube channel Beyond the Frame. When I started the channel, it was a passion project to share my love of videography and storytelling. The intention of the channel was never to be a fundraising platform, and it never will be solely for raising funds. But after having spent some time with Cathy and Marius, I have come to realize that they're good people that are just having a really hard time in life. What I'd like to do is appeal to anybody that's watching this to help me raise sufficient funds to buy a new wheelchair for Cathy. If there's anything surplus to that, that'll be wonderful. But the intention is to raise sufficient funds for a wheelchair. In South African currency, we're looking at between 6,000 and 7,000 Rand, and that's around $300 US. The platform that we're going to be using is called Back a Buddy. It's a South African platform. It's well trusted and respected within South Africa, and it's along the same lines as GoFundMe. So if you're able to help, there is a link in the description below, and anything that you can donate would be greatly appreciated. What we will do is, once we've raised enough funds and we have got a wheelchair for Cathy, I will do a video handing the wheelchair over to her. And if you've got this far, thanks for watching.